Volume 5 has been rocky since its start. I think we all expected this to be a great adventure that never let up, only for the season to meander in the middle till the last few episodes. Still, it's not all bad, and today we're here to focus on the positive. We'll be taking a look at the 5 best things, or least awful depending on your perspective, in Volume 5. We've all been waiting for the fall of Haven since Volume 4, but turns out it wasn't even a proper fall. Despite Headmaster Lionheart turning to Salem's side, despite the villains having the upper hand on the heroes, despite it all, Haven was saved and the Relic of Knowledge protected. Our good guys needed this victory, especially after the fall of Beacon. If the villains won at every turn, where would the shock be? This raises the stakes for the battles to come for Atlas and Shade Academies. It makes me even more tense for what the next few volumes have in store. The reason this is a bit lower than the others, though, is because this was on a relatively lower scale than the fall of Beacon, and felt much clunkier than it should have been. Things like missing action scenes, slower fights, and odd character moments here and there took me out of the experience, if only momentarily. Still, this was the best possible way to finish Volume 5 in the Mistral arc off. Also, none of the heroes died. God bless and suck a dick, Salem. My god, we have been waiting for this since the very first volume. Jean's finally discovered his semblance. It's actually not healing like a lot of people thought. Instead, it's more similar to what we saw of his stat booster abilities in Grim Eclipse. He can amplify another person's aura, restoring it after it's been broken, and indirectly healing their wounds. The reason I'm pretty sure this is his semblance rather than just his aura is because 1, he's interacting with the outside world, which is how semblance is described to work, and 2, if this was a common practice in Remnant, surely we'd have heard of aura healers before. While kinda predictable, it was a great reveal to have Jean saving Weiss to give him a moment to finally discover his semblance. And over time, we might not just see him heal the other characters, but boost their semblances as well. Imagine if he could help Weiss create an army of summons, or if he could turn Nora into Thor for real. I'm here for it. Also, our team needed a healer, so fuck off. You must keep moving on. While introduced in Volume 4, Ilia didn't have much to do. This was her season to shine, and my god did she throw us for a loop. First off, her design is great. The fact they acknowledge her chameleon traits can help her pass for human, feeding into her backstory, and even her weapon, based on a chameleon tongue, are brilliant, along with her last name meaning rainbow. And Sharmie Lee did a fantastic job with her voice. She can make Ilia sound both sweet and dangerous at the flip of a switch. But not only is Ilia our first LGBT character in RWBY, but she successfully avoided the trope of bury your gays by not dying, thank the fucking lord. She was able to see the error in her ways and change for the better before she became another Atom. I specifically love how they incorporated the smile melody into her scenes, with my favorite being when she shows up after defusing the White Fang's bombs at Haven. A little cliche, but damn it, I am so proud of my chameleon daughter. Now this is the one that had everyone and their dog going insane. Vernal was a red herring, and Raven was the true Spring Maiden. Of course, my theory on her having the powers since her youth is now dead in the water, but it's still a great twist nonetheless, and led to arguably the best fight of the volume, which I have dubbed the Battle of the Bitches. I do have problems with Cinder actually dying here, assuming she isn't coming back in a later volume, which she most likely is, but I will say the fact they got me to root for Raven in this fight at all is impressive. The way these two clash is like watching two avatars fighting at full power. The final scene with Raven and Yang's conversation takes the cake. Yang managed to make her mother cry like the little bitch she is, and to see her call her mother out and all her bullshit felt so good. Still, Raven's motivations confuse me. I feel my theory made much more sense than her getting angry over being able to turn into a bird, since it would be she was forced to become the pawn against her will, but take what you can get, I suppose. The most interesting thing about Raven now is what they could do with her in the future. The only real problem with this whole plot twist is that Vernal's character was pretty useless, aside from her being a red herring. There's nothing to her besides her weapons, which I love, and her serving as a distraction. As always, the soundtrack is fantastic. Jeff, Casey, and Alex never fail to disappoint with either the scores or the new songs. I put this as an honorable mention for 2 reasons. 1, the soundtrack is always amazing, so it's no surprise at fucking all. And 2, we didn't get that much in terms of actual songs this season. We have 7 songs. Path to Isolation, Smile, and Ignite were all in the character shorts, we had the Triumph for our intro, and then it was nothing till the last 2 episodes where we got All Things Must Die, All That Matters, and This Time. I do like that the songs this season are generally more kick-ass than previous volumes, but it is weird having to wait that long to hear more. Team RWBY has been separated since, well, really before the end of Volume 3. Destiny was really the last time Team RWBY hung out together as friends in a stress-free environment. It's been 2 years since then, and Team RWBY is finally back together. We were all expecting the reunions to either happen in the finale or to happen in Volume 6, but I don't think any of us were ready for the Freezer Burn reunion in Chapter 4. The fact they played home with Weiss jumping into Yang's arms made it especially poignant. Chapter 6's reunion, set to gold, tugged at our heartstrings even more with the reunion between sisters, and then them welcoming Weiss into the hug. And finally, after so much emotion with Yang upset over Blake leaving, Blake getting a brief exchange with the others, then returning to help Ruby and Weiss in their fight, and promising she won't be going anywhere. Oh my god, I lost my damn mind. This was the perfect way to end Volume 5, and I'm so ready to see them all together in Volume 6. Also, no more juggling 15 stories at once, God bless! Like Volume 4, Volume 5 had its share of problems. It promised a lot, but didn't really deliver till the very end, and even that is iffy. Still, it was far from terrible, at least for me. Even though RWBY's a hot mess, I still love it, and I'm excited for both the soundtrack and for Volume 6 this fall. If you found this interesting, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned. Next Wednesday, I'll be doing a top 5 worst or most disappointing things in Volume 5 video. You might also like my RWBY Volume reviews, which are much more laid back and show my crazy side, along with my Volume 5 chapter reviews. I'm also writing a book, so if you could check out the synopsis and first chapter in the description, I would really appreciate it. I'm the Unicorn of War, and this has been a shit show.
Yes, I know that